जिंदगी, कभी कभी सोचता हूँ इसका सफ़र भी कितना अजीब है। जब तक दौड़ते भागते रहो तो लगता रहता है यार कब रुक के चैन की सांस लूँगा, और अगर रुक जाओ तो दिल बेचैन हो उठता है एक बार फिर से उसी भागदौड़ की तरफ जाने के लिए। वही कश्मकश लेकर इंसान जीता रहता है। इसीलिए तो कहते हैं जिंदगी के सफ़र में भले ही 2 पल रुककर चैन की सांस ले लो, लेकिन सफ़र कभी नहीं रुकना चाहिए। तो चलते हैं, सफ़र को कंटिन्यू करते हैं। Hello and welcome back once again to yet another video and yet another journey with xBhp. And today we are taking our Thar to the mountains of Uttarakhand. Now for that, first thing first, fuel check, papers check, service of the car check, and of course tires. So for the tires we have opted for the JK Tyres Ranger HT. Now, a lot of you might be asking why HT? Why not AT? So first of all, HT is highway terrain and AT is all terrain. While the older Thar is known for its off-road capabilities, the new Thar is an all-purpose vehicle. You don't really have to take it to off-roads all the time. Many might prefer a highway touring with the Thar, while still having no worries of those potholes and occasional bad roads or off-roads. Hence, we chose to go ahead with the JK Ranger HT tires and put them to test that are made to enjoy your drive on the highways with occasional off-roads, sand and mud tracks. Now, without further ado, let's hit the road. Wow! These weekend getaways become even more exciting when you are enjoying the drive on those butter smooth highways and even don't have to worry about those patchy roads or maybe sometimes occasional off-roads too. That is only possible when you are well prepared for the trip. But often we pack a whole lot of things, essentials and non-essentials, but ignore perhaps a more important aspect, our vehicle's health. More specifically, the tires. Tires are what keep your shiny side up and are responsible for not only a safer trip, but a more comfortable and enjoyable one too. It is like suiting up for a party but wearing raggedy old shoes. Now we don't want to do that, do we? That is why we decided to get a new set of shoes for our Thar. And as the JK tires come in a packaged form, it gives a completely fresh look to the tires with no dust and dirt on them. As we get ready to beat the heat and head out for a quick getaway drive to the mountains in Uttarakhand. Thar has always been known for its off-roading ability, but the new one that we call the biker's car is a more complete package. It has nearly everything you can ask for in a car: looks, power, comfort, and the ability to be ready for both long drives and off-roading. You name it, and the Thar would do it. We can safely call the new Thar a perfect all-rounder. हर सफ़र में उतार चढ़ाव तो आते ही रहते हैं, चाहे वो सफ़र सड़क का हो या ज़िंदगी का। लेकिन ये वही उतार चढ़ाव हैं जो ज़िंदगी और रोड दोनों के ही सफ़र को मज़ेदार बना देते हैं। On our drive today, we munched a good number of miles in our Thar, shot with the new JK Ranger HT, and man, the cabin of Thar felt so comfortable. Do you hear that? That is the sound of silence, and that is what you get from the GA engineering of JK Ranger HT. Why? Because that actually reduces so much of noise that comes from the road, and especially that comes from the tires when it gets friction on the road. On top of that, our Thar is already customized to reduce road noise. Together, they made the cabin almost soundproof when in motion. So that actually has really added to the overall experience, overall luxury of this beautiful machine and this awesome road trip. Be it in traffic or on open highways, when you cruise at triple-digit speeds, the Thar feels confident and sure-footed despite its short wheelbase. And with the high traction grip design of tires, you can be sure that you will have exceptional control and stability on the roads. Moreover, JK Tyre claims that when paired with appropriate braking, these tires can bring a car to a halt from 100 km per hour in just 4 seconds. Now that is mighty impressive. We are surely going to put these tires to test in terms of how they behave in corners as we take it to the serpentine mountain roads of Uttarakhand. So here we are, finally we have reached Dehradun, and I had never imagined that it will take so much of time to reach Dehradun from Delhi, all thanks to the traffic that we got. And right now we are at one of our favorite place, that is Throttle Dehradun. Now I personally have been here for the very first time, and I must say I really enjoyed the ambience. Well, today we have travelled almost 280 kilometers from Delhi to Dehradun, and I must say I feel as fresh as I was in the morning because the ride was really very comfortable. And I believe while the entire car itself is very comfortable, the tires have really added that comfort, that little extra comfort to the ride, or I must say to the drive. The solid center and the stiff shoulder design of the tires gave us that extra confidence on the straight roads and even in the corners as we have driven up to Dehradun. Although till now the mountains are not as much as we were expecting or we are expecting, but yes, till now the grip, the confidence that the design of these tires have been providing us is really great. But we will put them to test tomorrow morning. Well, the mornings in the mountains are unlike any other. These high and mighty mountains are awe-inspiring, yet fierce and intimidating. But even they cannot stop sun, as the rays spark the light of hope within one. With that little bit of philosophy, let's start the journey ahead today. Wow, what a drive it was. Well, you know, it has always been noticed that whenever we talk about doing a getaway trips, one thing that comes to mind is going to the mountains. And the fun of going on that trip multiplies manifold when you have the right machine with you and the right control to steer on those roads, on those corners. In our case, on one side we have our Thar's 320 Nm torque propelling us forward and up. On the other side, we have the solid and stiff construction of the tires providing us with amazing steering control and feedback. As easy as these tires make everything, one can still expect an amazingly organic driving experience with these tires paired with the Mahindra THAR. The one thing that the THAR assuredly does every time it is out on the roads is providing a fun driving experience. But even more than that, the attention it grabs on the road. It has that universal appeal that is simply too hard to ignore regardless of who is looking at it. थार अपने जेके टायर्स के साथ में मज़े कर रही है। अब चाहे वो हाईवे हो, चाहे ये जंगल का एनवायरनमेंट, हर जगह पे प्रॉपर फन जिसकी हम बात करते हैं। क्योंकि देखिए जनरली व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट when you are buying a car, right, especially a car like Thar, people have this expectation that okay, if you have bought a Thar, that means you will be going off-roads most of the times. But that does not happen. Why? Because when you are taking a car like Thar, like the new Thar, you are primarily focusing on going on trips as well. Now when you are going on trips, luckily, fortunately, India has grown and developed enough to have beautiful roads. Now you are not going off-road all the time, but at the same time you may get a lot of bad patches of the roads. So for that, the kind of tires that we are talking about here, that is the JK Ranger HT, which means the highway terrain. Now I think they have named it very correctly, that is highway terrain, because in India the highways are not just beautiful tarmac. It is also mix of potholes, it is also mix of maybe sometimes no roads, and even sometimes it's like under construction roads and all. So for that, these tires perform really well. The kind of steering control that you get on these tires is much more and much more comfortable in comparison to the other tires. While yes, the other tires, especially when I'm talking the AT or the MT, they really perform wonders when you are going off-roads. While these are not primarily off-road tires, but to be very honest, they can really take care of or take on these kind of roads wherein the patches are there or maybe the roads are little bumpy. So these tires are good enough for those roads. The entire day today was a great fun riding on those mountains, those serpentine roads. But till the time we have left those mountains, the journey has turned into a war zone for battling through our way through this monstrous traffic. Well, completing the 780 plus kilometers, we are finally home. Throughout the trip, we had great fun. So did the Thar. Now, be it the straight highways, be it the curvy roads of the mountains, steep mountains, or even the bad patches of the roads, it was a glide. Now, people may ask how important it is to have a good set of tires or what difference it makes. Well, we would say that much. खैर, इसी के साथ जिंदगी के सफरनामे का एक और सफर हुआ पूरा। मिलते हैं आपको अगले किसी सफर में, अगले किसी मोड़ पर। तब तक ड्राइव हार्ड, Drive safe with total control.